Welcome to the Hypnolady Show. I'm Maureen Pisani, your host, and here we will discuss all sorts of topics regarding life, its problems, complementary modalities that help, and what to do to empower yourself on a daily basis. We will discuss all kinds of modalities and how and why they give you results and what you can do to have a better today every day. As we go through episode by episode, I will be discussing all kinds of topics, but remember, I will never highlight a problem without offering you a solution. So make sure you listen all the way. Fair? Ready? Good. Let's go. Hello. Welcome to the Hypnolady Show. I am Maureen Pisani, your host, and today we are going to talk about hypnosis and hypnotherapy. Yes. We have to, right? I'm the Hypnolady. This is the Hypnolady Show. I'm a hypnotherapist. Well, of course, we're going to talk about hypnosis. One thing I can tell you is after 15 plus years of working with people, the one thing I know is that a lot of people have no idea what hypnosis is. So let's take care of it. Let's handle it right now. What is it? What does it do? When can you use it? When can you not use it? So I'll go and give you the whole shebang right now. Are you ready for it? Good. So you know how we say, he mesmerized me, she mesmerized me. Well, when you rewind history, that phrase started with Anton Mesmer. He was this Austrian doctor in the French court in Versailles before the French Revolution, impressing everybody, mesmerizing everybody with his magnetism. He was quite the showman. He was important. He was creating results. People were having amazing experiences, but then he was tricked. And if you want to know the details, you're going to have to do the research. But he was tricked and sent out in disgrace. During his heyday, when somebody in the audience, a particular Dr. James Braid, a British surgeon, observed keenly because he knew that part of the show was Anton Mesmer's showmanship, but the participants were having a real experience. So he went back home to England and basically picked one of his servants and started observing him. So he told the servant to stare at the label of a bottle of wine. And the servant stared, and he stared, and his eyes got heavy, and Dr. James Braid concluded that the servant fell asleep. So the word hypnosis comes from the Greek god of sleep, hypnos. Only as this whole procedure continued and James Braid continued assessing, engaging, and working with the servant, it turns out he wasn't asleep. He was in an altered state. So then the whole thing just continued growing. As we come all the way now to the Sigmund Freud time, and yes, if you research history, this is not slander because it is the truth, Sigmund Freud was into cocaine to the point where his dentures and his gums were so bad that the dentures didn't fit. And Sigmund Freud didn't really like people. If you think about the old-fashioned psychiatrist and the lounge, the chaise lounge was set in a way that the patient was looking over there while the therapist was sitting here, behind their head. That was created because Sigmund Freud did not like interacting with people. So he attempted to hypnotize his patients. And guess what? When you kind of slur and you can't pronounce your words, and hypnosis and hypnotherapy are all words, he wasn't successful. And he didn't quite take well to not being successful. Sigmund Freud was in the Vienna circle, the creme de la creme of anybody who's anybody. So if he gave his stamp of approval to something, everybody did it. But if he disapproved something, then it was shunned. So he wasn't quite successful with inducing the hypnotic state in patients. So he told everybody it doesn't work. And then to add insult to injury, the one time he succeeded and he was working with this lady and he managed to hypnotize her and she had an amazing breakthrough because hypnosis does work. She jumped off the chaise and lunged at him and gave him a hug. So he officially pronounced that hypnosis creates psychosis. Can you believe this? I can't make this up, guys. So what do? We have the entire medical system from back then to now that if you ask them about hypnosis, the strict Western medicine systems always denounce hypnosis as a tool because all of them are trained in Freudian psychology. See what I mean? Connect the dots. So, why am I here today? Because here's flash breaking news, guys. Hypnosis is safe. Hypnosis works. I am living proof. I have helped thousands of people overcome situations, but it is a serious tool, so we're going to talk about it. So, when you look at it, hypnosis, what is it? It's an altered state. It's not magic. We, each of us, you too, we go into hypnosis at least twice a day as we're falling asleep and as we're waking up from sleep. Have you ever been, and I'll give you a few examples. Have you ever taught or spoke to teenagers? And then there's this magical moment where they're like, down. They're done, right? You know they're done. They're glazed over. Have you ever been, and it could be either or here, or both, at a doctor's office, and at some point you have no idea what he said, or my favorite, at my accountant's. She's an amazing woman. I love her to pieces, but she starts talking numbers, and I'm like, ding, out, check out. So we all have this. Another time where hypnosis happens, I mean, we like movies, right? Do you cry with movies? Do you startle when they do something? Do you get scared? Do you cheer for him? Well, you know, they're all actors and it's all fake and it's a screenplay. Just because a guy's in tights and has a cape doesn't mean he can fly. But in the moment, you get into it because it's the suspension of critical thinking. It's hypnosis. Have you ever parked your car and said to yourself, I'm here already? How did I get here? So think about it. If you were completely wide awake, fully alert, you'd remember the route, right? But if you were completely asleep, like at night, you wouldn't be able to drive. So that means you were somewhere in between. That in between is hypnosis. Now, hypnosis. Please, always, always, always make sure who you work with. The best way to find out is ask their education. Ask them how long their training was. The one thing I guarantee is I'm going to give you my best. The only reason I can give you my best is because I know I've studied. I'm at the master's level in all modalities because I can never be giving you 98% and think it's enough. So whenever you work with somebody who's a hypnotherapist, please ask. Ask their training. They have to tell you because if they're not telling you, something's iffy. Ask them, how long was their training? What are they trained in? What level of training do they have? You are worth it. You deserve the truth. So when it comes to what happens in hypnosis, when we think hypnosis, automatically we think stage hypnosis. Well, that's hypnosis for entertainment purposes. The only people who go up on stage are the ones who are high extroverts, who love being the center of attention, who don't mind being the butt of the joke, and who love being cute and happy and sexy and flirty and having the little loophole that the second the show was done and they come off stage, they'll be like, oh no, that wasn't me. He made me do it. They're always ready to do the extravagant. Those personalities are the ones that are usually dancing on top of the tables without hypnosis. So when it comes to what is hypnosis, what are you going to experience? Well, it kind of is anticlimactic because if you are a left brainer, hypnosis is up here. That's it. You'll feel relaxed. I have some people, the right brainers, the creatives, who are just so relaxed. They go, oh my gosh, I was so relaxed. I couldn't even feel my body. I was so light, I was floating. I have others who tell me, oh my goodness, Maureen, I was so relaxed, my body felt like lead. Both are quotes, by the way. Oh, Maureen, I have no idea what you said. I just, really? That was 20 minutes? Wow. Or, Maureen, I heard every word you said. It's still hypnosis. Right brainers, think of it like this. Summer barbecue, swimming pool party. You have a group of people. You have extroverts and introverts. Extroverts are usually right brainers. Introverts are usually left brainers. When you put them all together, it's a Saturday afternoon, it's a gorgeous sunny day, the food is smelling amazing, the water is sparkling, and you're going to have one of two reactions from each person. One is going to dive in, and one is going to walk around the pool and dip their toe in, and they're not sure because the water might be too cold. Here's the secret. The right brainers, the extroverts will jump in. They want to feel, they want to experience, they want vibrant colors, they want to live life. The introverts, the left brainers, not quite so much. They want to check it out, they want to gauge, they want to test the water, they want to check what temperature it is. Same thing with hypnosis. The extroverts, the right brainers, will be like, oh, please help me relax. Bam, done. The introverts, let me see if I can trust you. Let me see if my unconscious mind can trust you. Let me see if this is acceptable to me. It is, by the way, to all of you. So the thing is, with hypnosis, you will never, when you work with me, you will never do anything silly or embarrassing. You will never tell me anything you deem private. You will never lose consciousness. Hypnosis is not anesthesia. And I say that seriously. You will never lose consciousness. You will feel amazingly relaxed. The truth of the matter is there are 139 levels of hypnosis. So sometimes you're at level 2, sometimes you're at level 120. Is there a difference in sensation? Absolutely. When it comes to how you do this, it just works. So what are we doing here? What exactly are we going to achieve from the hypnosis word to the hypnotherapy word? Because hypnotherapy is simply the use of hypnosis for therapeutic purposes. So the first thing is this: how do I explain putting you into hypnosis from a scientific perspective? You know, we have the right brain and the left brain. But right up here, we have something called the prefrontal cortices. The prefrontal cortices are our adult brain. So if we have, let's say, something happens and I stub my toe, and instantaneously my unconscious mind gives me a very nice long list of colorful words. But I realize that there are children in the room, so I can't really, let's say, express myself. So the prefrontal cortices will filter all of it to allow me to say G-rated words. This is where I bring my dad in because his prefrontal cortices were phenomenal. Somebody cut him off while driving. This is the word he used to use, the phrase he used to use, bloemenbasket. So his mind would give him, but his prefrontal cortices would temper it down to a G-rated phrase, bloemenbasket. You do the math of what it was originally. But when it comes to how we do this, when I'm hypnotizing you, all with words, by the way, never touch a person. You need to be safe. The first thing I do is I walk you through a process where the prefrontal cortices are so bored, they go into abeyance. Then I walk you through another process, again with just words, where it is so repetitive that the left brain is like, oh my goodness, when is she ever going to stop? And it goes into abeyance, which instantaneously means that the right brain goes into hyperactivity. The second your right brain goes into hyperactivity, you are in a hypnotic state. When you think about it, we have the conscious mind and we have the unconscious mind. The conscious mind, by the way, the brain is in here. The conscious mind is about 6 inches out. The conscious mind is how we perceive, how we think, how we decide what we would like in our future. So if you think about, I would really appreciate a promotion. I would really love a bigger house. I would love to live in whatever state and country. That's your conscious mind. But here's the glitch. Here's the piece that not too many people know. Your conscious mind, think of an iceberg, is according to some 3%, according to some 12%, while your unconscious mind, according to some, is 88 or 97%. So either way, conscious is very small compared to unconscious. Fair? So with the best of your efforts, you have max 12%. The other thing we also have, and I know some of you know this, we have something called homeostasis. Physically, homeostasis means the need to stay the same. So in my physical body, I need to have a body temperature of 98.6 degrees. Most of us have that. If I'm in the middle of a desert and my body is in an environment where it's building and building and building, and I'm hitting 98 and I'm hitting 99, my body's going to perspire, right? To bring the temperature back down. If I find myself in a very cold environment, but I'm not wearing the right clothing, my body's going to shiver to keep my body temperature up. We all appreciate physical homeostasis. But what we don't know, what most of us don't know, is that we have a psychological homeostasis in your unconscious mind. The need to stay the same. So, in this need to stay the same, this psychological homeostasis keeps us stuck because we have something called the pain-pleasure principle. We avoid pain and we seek pleasure. But pleasure isn't the promotion. Pleasure is what you have gotten accustomed to. So this 6 years of hell, my unconscious mind had gotten accustomed to non-stop pain. The conscious mind wanted pain-free life. The unconscious is going, but this is what we're used to now. Pain-free, we don't know what that is. 12% is going, I would really like pain-free. 88 is going, not a chance, buddy boy. Guess which one? 88. So, hypnotherapy accesses the unconscious mind, upgrades your thinking patterns. Yes, you can make more money. Yes, you can have a better house. Yes, it is safe for you to have that lifestyle. Yes, you can achieve it. And then you have 100% of your brain power to work for you. That's why hypnotherapy works. Because, truth be told, I am a very strong supporter for accountability. I believe we should own what we do and what we don't do as well, right? In the scenario, I need you to give you a little bit more leeway and a lot of forgiveness. Because even if you did your best, even if you gave it your best effort, your best commitment, your best everything, all you had was 12% max. The second we introduce hypnotherapy into your life, you now have 100% access for you to create and manifest and live the life you want. That's why it works. So when it comes to how we do this, it's safe. Now, I used to have an office. 15 years, I had an office. I used to see people in person. And I used to see people online on the off chance because they were international. But now because of COVID and because post-pandemic, international and local are all being seen online, I can do Facebook. This is hilarious, guys. Facebook Messenger audio, Zoom, FaceTime, phone. It doesn't matter because the first thing I get you to do is close your eyes to listen to me. So if you listen to me 10 feet away from me in my office, why can't you listen to me in your own bedroom, in your own recliner, in your own comfy spot? So wherever you are, you're curious. I am here to help. So now that you know about hypnosis, here are some secrets. Never, ever listen to hypnotic recordings while driving. I'm very serious on this. Never listen to your personalized recordings that I make for you while sitting in the driver's seat. We all have associations. We don't bathe in the kitchen and we don't cook in the bathroom. So the driver's seat is wide awake and alert. This way, we don't have to think about when we sit in that seat, is it wide awake and alert or is it deep relaxation? Because they don't connect, right? If you need to listen to it, you want to reinforce a hypnotic recording during your day, sit in the passenger or in the back seat. That's more than fine. The other thing is this. As good as hypnotherapy is, it is contraindicated, unfortunately, for people who have histories and episodes of epileptic seizures or psychotic breaks. It is something where it is too risky for you to open a can of worms you can't fix. Yes, I know there are some people who tell you it's not true. From my side, for my conscience, for your conscience and your health, I always err on the side of caution. So if you have a history of psychotic breaks, there are other tools that I'm going to discuss with you, other tools I can help you with, but it won't be hypnosis because I don't want to risk just in case it triggers it. Fair? When it comes to regular days, We have something called environmental hypnosis. An environmental hypnosis looks like this. You're at home, you're doing life, maybe you're working out at home, and you notice that it's time for lunch. And you go into the kitchen and you recognize that you haven't taken anything out for dinner, so you open the freezer. And as you're taking whatever you need to cook for dinner, you realize that the freezer is kind of disorganized. So you start working on the freezer. And then you realize that something from this freezer has to go into the freezer in the garage. So then you take it. But then once you're in the garage, you realize that the garage is completely disorganized. And then you're lost there. And before you know it, it's 5 p.m. Has that ever happened to you? You start a lot of things and you never finish one. Well, the reason that happens is because we get overloaded and we get overwhelmed. And we're working on the 12% that's overflowing. So what's the best thing to do? 1, break state, meaning if you notice that you're starting to get a little fidgety and you can't quite focus, stand up, do a couple of jumping jacks, go up and down a flight of stairs, have a glass of water, take a couple of deep breaths, and then come back. You can also, by the way, make sure you're eating enough protein. So if you need to have a snack of clean protein. And protein is in everything. It doesn't have to be animal meat or animal protein. So find out, do your research. If you're curious, there's so many resources. Protein will help you maintain. We are going to talk about environmental hypnosis another time in more detail. So if you're curious, let me know. Remember, if you have questions, thehypnoladyshow.com. Go there, contact Maureen, and send me suggestions and questions. I'm here. Who knows? Maybe one of your suggestions will become an episode. I know that I've covered a lot of information today, and I know that most of you are going to be, but what about this? What about that? Well, that's why thehypnoladyshow.com is available to you. Reach out to me, and who knows? Maybe have an episode where I answer all your questions. Yes, reach out. I am here for you. So for right now, keep shining at your brightest and continue to be blessed. See you soon. It's been great having you with me. If you're interested in getting daily updates, just subscribe to this podcast, in which case it will pop up every single day for you to listen to. If you'd like me to bring up a certain topic or answer specific questions, reach out to me at thehypnoladyshow.com. Find Contact Maureen and send it over. Thank you for joining me. I really, truly appreciate you. If you enjoyed what's been shared today, feel free to subscribe, like, and share with your friends. That's it for me. I'm looking forward to talking with you tomorrow, but for now, shine at your brightest and continue to be blessed.